Have you ever felt like there's more to reality than what we've been told? Like your thoughts, your emotions, your very awareness might be influencing the world around you in ways you can't fully explain? Science has spent centuries telling us that consciousness is just a byproduct of the brain, that the mind is nothing more than a collection of electrical signals trapped inside your skull. But what if that was never true? What if your mind extends beyond your body, beyond the limitations of space and time, and is entangled with the very fabric of the universe itself? For years, quantum physicists have been unraveling a mystery so profound, so unsettling, that it challenges everything we think we know about existence. Particles that are separated by vast distances somehow communicate instantaneously. Matter behaves differently when it is observed, as if reality itself is aware of being watched. And the deeper we look into the nature of the universe, the clearer it becomes that consciousness is not just some passive observer. It is an active participant in shaping reality. And this isn't speculation. This isn't science fiction. These are real, measurable phenomena observed in laboratories around the world. And they suggest something astonishing, that the same laws that govern subatomic particles may also govern your thoughts. That your mind, your focus, your awareness, these are not just personal experiences. They may be forces that directly shape the world around you. And the implications of this are staggering, because if your consciousness is entangled with reality itself, that means you are not just living inside the universe is living inside of you. But here's the question no one is asking. If consciousness plays an active role in shaping reality, why is this knowledge not widely understood? Why are we not taught from birth that our thoughts influence the world around us? Why do so many people still believe they are powerless, that life is random, that what happens to them is outside their control? The answer is simple: because those who truly understand this knowledge control the world, while the rest are left blind to their own power. Throughout history, mystics, philosophers, and even certain scientific minds have hinted at this hidden truth, that the mind is not separate from reality, but woven into its very structure. The Buddha spoke of reality as an illusion shaped by perception. Nikola Tesla said that if you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And today, modern physics is beginning to prove what these visionaries knew all along, that your thoughts are not confined to your head. They ripple outward, affecting the physical world in ways we are only beginning to comprehend. And this changes everything. Because if you are entangled with reality at a fundamental level, if the way you observe the world actually collapses possibilities into form, then that means reality is not something that just happens to you. It is something you are actively shaping in every moment. And this is why certain people seem to move through life with an effortless ability to attract exactly what they need, while others remain trapped in patterns of struggle. The difference isn't luck. The difference is consciousness. Because here's what no one tells you: the way you direct your focus, the way you hold emotions, the way you expect reality to unfold, these things are not just internal experiences. They are frequencies that interact with the fabric of existence itself. Quantum mechanics has already proven that observation changes reality. But what most people don't realize is that your thoughts are a form of observation. Your emotions are a form of observation. Your very awareness is constantly collapsing potential into experience, shaping the path of your life in ways that most people never question. But if this is true, then why do so many people feel stuck? Why does it seem like no matter how much they think positively or try to manifest, nothing changes? The answer is because most people do not know how to direct their consciousness properly. They focus on what they don't want instead of what they do. They think their reality is solid and fixed when in truth it is fluid and constantly reshaping itself. They believe they are separate from the universe when in reality they are woven into it, like threads in a vast cosmic web. And this is the secret that changes everything: the realization that your thoughts are not just passive, they are entangled with everything around you. That means what you focus on grows. What you believe manifests. What you feel sends signals into the quantum field, shaping the outcomes you experience. This is not philosophy, this is physics. Scientists have already demonstrated that particles can become entangled, meaning that what happens to one instantly affects the other no matter how far apart they are. But what if your mind is also entangled with reality in this way? What if the things you focus on, the thoughts you repeat, the emotions you hold, what if these are all creating invisible links between you and the experiences you attract? And if that's true, then every thought you have is like a tuning fork sending out vibrations that align you with specific possibilities. This is why patterns repeat in people's lives, why those who dwell in fear seem to attract more things to fear, why those who feel abundant continue to find opportunities. It is not random, it is not coincidence, it is entanglement. And if you want proof, all you have to do is look at your own life. Look at the things you constantly think about. Look at the emotions you consistently feel. Look at the way you expect things to turn out. Because chances are those very expectations, those very emotions, those very thoughts, they are shaping your reality in ways you never realized. And here's where things get even stranger. Studies have shown that human intention can influence random number generators, that the emotions we hold can be measured in electromagnetic fields that extend beyond our bodies, that the structure of water molecules changes based on the energy directed toward them. And if thoughts can affect machines, if emotions can influence physical matter, if observation alone can alter the behavior of subatomic particles, then what does that say about your ability to shape your own life? Because here's the thing, the world has been telling you that you are powerless, that you are just one person, just a small being in a vast and indifferent universe. But that is a lie. The truth is you are entangled with everything. Your consciousness is not confined to your body. Your thoughts are not isolated events happening inside your brain. They are waves, ripples, signals being sent into the quantum field, influencing what happens next. And once you understand this, once you fully grasp that you are not a passive observer of reality but an active participant in its creation, everything changes. You stop feeling stuck. You stop believing in limitations that were never real to begin with. You begin to see that what you focus on expands, what you believe becomes real, and what you expect starts to manifest in ways that cannot be ignored. And this is where everything shifts. Because now you are no longer trapped inside a reality that happens to you. Now you are stepping into your role as a conscious creator of reality itself. And the moment you stop doubting this, the moment you begin to experiment with your own awareness, you will see it happening all around you. Synchronicities, opportunities, shifts in perception that lead to shifts in experience. Because reality is responding to you. It always has been. The question is, what signal are you sending? And the question is, what signal are you sending? Because whether you realize it or not, you are always broadcasting. Every thought, every emotion, every expectation is sending out a frequency, aligning you with specific outcomes, entangling you with certain possibilities. And most people have no idea they're doing it. They move through life believing they are separate from the events unfolding around them, unaware that they are participating in them, that they are generating the very reality they experience. But once you see it, you can never unsee it. Once you realize that your consciousness is actively shaping the quantum field, you begin to understand why certain things keep happening to you, why patterns repeat, why some people seem to live in a state of flow while others remain stuck in cycles of struggle. It's not fate, it's not luck, it's entanglement. The mind acts like a tuning fork, and what you hold in your awareness determines the frequency you resonate with. Hold fear, and you will find more to be afraid of. Hold lack, and you will see scarcity everywhere. Hold expectation of struggle, and life will reflect it back to you. But what happens when you shift your focus? What happens when you stop reacting to reality and start consciously influencing it? That is when everything changes. Because the moment you step beyond the illusion of separateness, the moment you begin to direct your consciousness instead of letting it be directed for you, you tap into something most people will never experience. A way of moving through the world that feels almost supernatural, a way of existing where life itself seems to bend in response to your awareness. And it's not magic, it's not wishful thinking, it's physics. Quantum mechanics has already demonstrated that particles respond to observation, that reality is not fixed but fluid, shifting based on awareness. And if particles react to being observed, what does that say about the role of your mind in shaping your reality? What does that say about the hidden power of attention? Most people let their attention be hijacked by fear, by distraction, by external circumstances that keep them locked in a low-frequency existence, unaware that the more they focus on something, the more they reinforce it. But the ones who understand this, the ones who know that consciousness is an active force, they use it deliberately. They do not react to reality. They mold it. They focus their attention on what they wish to experience, not what they fear. And this is where everything starts to make sense. Because the key to shifting your reality is not to fight against what exists, but to shift your focus toward what you desire to exist instead. Not in a vague, wishful way, but in a deliberate, deeply felt way that creates resonance between your consciousness and the reality you want to step into. Most people think change happens from the outside in, that external circumstances must shift before they can feel different inside. But the truth is the opposite. Reality mirrors consciousness, not the other way around. And this is why those who master this understanding begin to see results that defy logic. They set an intention, and events begin aligning in ways they can't explain. They shift their internal state, and the external world starts reflecting it back to them. They stop chasing, stop forcing, and instead they step into a frequency where things naturally come to them, and the world calls it luck. The world calls it coincidence. But the ones who know. They know that their awareness is entangled with reality itself, that what they observe shifts in response to them, that the way they hold their energy determines what unfolds around them. And the world does not want you to know this. Because a person who understands the true nature of consciousness is a person who cannot be controlled. A person who sees through the illusion of randomness, through the illusion of limitation, through the illusion that they must struggle to achieve, is a person who steps outside of the system entirely. Because once you realize that reality itself is responding to you, that your thoughts are not confined to your head but are shaping the very field of existence, you stop playing small. You stop waiting for permission, you stop doubting yourself, and you begin to move through life as a conscious creator rather than a passive participant. And this is why those who have mastered this knowledge throughout history have always spoken in cryptic hidden language, why mystics, philosophers, and even certain scientists have hinted at this truth but never fully revealed it. Because once you see reality for what it truly is, you can never be controlled again. You can never be manipulated into believing you are powerless. You can never fall back into the illusion that you are at the mercy of external circumstances, because you are not. The reality you experience is not something separate from you, it is an extension of your consciousness. The more you resist it, the more it resists you. The more you accept it, the more it flows. The more you align with a specific frequency, the more you shift into a version of reality that reflects it. And this is the part that most people miss, that you are not stuck in one fixed reality. You are shifting through infinite versions of reality all the time, based on the frequency of your awareness. This is why some people live in a world full of opportunity while others live in a world full of struggle. It's not that one person is luckier than another. It's that they are operating from two completely different levels of consciousness. And reality bends differently for each. This is why the rich get richer, why those who expect success always find it, why those who believe in scarcity always struggle to escape it. It is not because life is unfair. It is because consciousness creates reality. And until you realize that, you will continue to live inside the version of reality that you have unknowingly chosen. But the moment you shift your consciousness, the moment you begin to direct your attention deliberately, the moment you step beyond the illusion of separation, you start to experience something entirely different. Things begin aligning. Obstacles dissolve. Opportunities appear seemingly out of nowhere. And the more you embrace this, the more undeniable it becomes. Because reality is not happening to you. It is responding to you It always has been. The only difference now is that you are finally aware of it. And from this moment forward, everything changes, because now you no longer move through life unconsciously. Now you no longer allow yourself to be dragged into frequencies that do not serve you. Now you choose, you direct, you observe with intention. And as you do, the world rearranges itself around you, not because you forced it, not because you manipulated it, but because you finally understood how it was working all along. And now the only question that remains is this: what reality are you going to create? What frequency will you tune into? What version of life will you step into now that you know the truth? Because the moment you choose, the moment you direct your consciousness deliberately, the moment you step fully into the awareness that you are entangled with reality itself, everything will shift. And the ones who know this, the ones who master this, the ones who no longer play by the rules of limitation, scarcity, and fear, they are the ones who shape the world. They are the ones who live lives that seem impossible to others. They are the ones who step beyond the illusion and into a reality of their own design. And now, you have the choice to join them. And now, you have the choice to join them. Because the ones who understand this, the ones who see beyond the illusion, the ones who have stepped into their true power, they are not waiting for reality to change. They are changing it from within. They do not wait for permission. They do not seek approval. They do not hesitate in uncertainty, because they know that the moment they direct their focus, the moment they align their awareness, the moment they become deliberate in their observation, reality bends in response to them. And this is the secret that has been hidden in plain sight all along, the secret that ancient mystics hinted at, that the greatest minds in history tried to reveal. That you are not just a passive observer, you are a participant in the unfolding of existence itself. That every thought, every belief, every expectation you hold is like a stone dropped into the ocean of reality, creating ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. And now you must ask yourself, what kind of ripples have you been sending? What kind of frequency have you been broadcasting into the field of reality? Because whether you realize it or not, you have been shaping your experience all along. Every moment of doubt, every belief in limitation, every expectation of struggle has been reinforcing a version of reality that matches that frequency. And the world reflects it back to you, not as punishment, not as fate, but as a direct response to the energy you are putting out. But the moment you wake up to this, the moment you become conscious of your own creative power, everything shifts. You stop reacting and start choosing. You stop seeing reality as something separate from you and start understanding that it is flowing through you. And once you know this, truly know this, you can no longer live as you once did. You can no longer fall back into the illusion that life is random, that things happen to you by chance, that you are powerless in the grand design of the universe. Because now you see the truth, that you are woven into the very fabric of existence, that your mind, your awareness, your intention is shaping every moment before it even unfolds. And this is why some people move through life effortlessly, attracting opportunity, meeting the right people at the right time, experiencing synchronicities that seem almost magical. It is not luck, it is alignment. They have mastered the art of conscious observation. They have stepped into a frequency where reality organizes itself around them. And you have felt this before. You have had moments where everything flowed effortlessly, where things aligned in ways you could not explain, where life felt like it was responding to you directly. That was not coincidence. That was you, for a brief moment, stepping into alignment with the deeper truth of reality. And now you must decide. Will you return to the unconscious way of living, allowing thoughts to run on autopilot, reacting to circumstances as if they are separate from you, or will you step fully into your power, becoming aware of the signals you are sending, becoming intentional with the thoughts you hold, becoming deliberate in the way you observe and interact with the world? Because the ones who make this shift, the ones who step beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the illusion of separation, they live differently. They are no longer swayed by external events. They are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. They move as if reality is following them, because it is. And this is what no one teaches you. that you have always had this power, that your thoughts were never just thoughts but commands sent into the quantum field, shaping the trajectory of your life, that your emotions were never just passing feelings but vibrational signals influencing the reality around you, that your focus was never just a passive act but an active force determining what becomes real and what remains potential. And once you understand this, truly understand this, you begin to see the game for what it is. You begin to see why the world is structured the way it is, why distractions are everywhere, why fear is constantly pushed into the collective consciousness. Because a mind that is distracted, a mind that is consumed by fear, a mind that is constantly reacting, is a mind that has no control over its own frequency. And that is exactly how the system wants it. Because a person who does not control their consciousness is a person whose reality is controlled for them. But the moment you wake up, the moment you reclaim your awareness, the moment you take full responsibility for the signals you are sending, you become untouchable. You step outside the system. You stop living by the limitations imposed upon you and start shaping reality on your own terms. And when this happens, everything changes. People begin responding to you differently. Events begin unfolding in your favor. Opportunities arise seemingly out of nowhere, because you are no longer in resistance. You are no longer doubting. You are no longer sending out signals of uncertainty, confusion, or fear. You have become clear, deliberate, unwavering in the frequency you hold, and reality reflects that back to you. And this is where most people hesitate, because they have spent years, decades, even lifetimes believing in limitation, believing that they must struggle, believing that they must work endlessly to achieve even the smallest things. And when they first hear this, when they first grasp that reality is responding to them, they resist it. Because if this is true, then it means they must take full responsibility for the life they have created. And that is the part most people are afraid of. Not the idea that they are powerless, but the idea that they have always been powerful and that everything they have experienced was a result of the signals they were unknowingly sending. But here's the truth. The past does not matter. The only thing that matters is now, right now, because now is the moment where you begin directing your awareness with intention. Now is the moment where you begin observing with purpose. Now is the moment where you begin aligning with the frequency of the life you choose to experience. And the second you do this, the second you stop looking at the past as a limitation and start seeing the future as a field of infinite possibility, you begin shifting into a completely different timeline. Because make no mistake, reality is not linear. Time is not fixed. There are infinite versions of you living infinite versions of reality all existing at once. And the you that is struggling, the you that is thriving, the you that has already mastered this, they all exist simultaneously. The only difference between them is the frequency they are operating on. And now the choice is yours. Which version will you step into? Which timeline will you align with? Which version of reality will you choose to observe into existence? Because the moment you decide, the moment you shift, the moment you hold a new frequency without hesitation, without contradiction, without fear, reality will have no choice but to follow. And this is the truth that changes everything. That your consciousness is not confined, that your awareness is not passive, that you are, and always have been, the one shaping it all. And now for the first time you see it clearly. And from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same again. And from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same again, because now you are awake. Now you understand what was hidden in plain sight all along. Now you see that you were never just a passive observer, never just a mind trapped inside a body moving through a fixed reality. You were always something far greater, an active force entangled with the very fabric of existence, influencing it, shaping it, bending it to the frequency you hold. And this is where everything changes. Because once you know this, truly know this, you begin to feel reality responding to you, not as an abstract idea, not as something you simply believe, but as something you witness unfolding in real time. The way people react to you shifts, the way opportunities arise begins to feel effortless, the synchronicities become undeniable. Because the truth is, they were always there. You were just tuned into the wrong frequency, caught in the illusion that reality was something external, something happening to you rather than through you. But now you are seeing beyond the illusion. Now you are understanding why everything that has happened in your life has happened the way it did. Every challenge, every obstacle, every so-called failure was never random. It was a reflection, a signal, a mirror showing you the frequency you were unconsciously broadcasting. And the moment you take responsibility for that, the moment you stop blaming external circumstances, the moment you stop seeing life as something separate from you, that is when you reclaim your power. And this is why most people never make this shift, because it requires them to let go of the belief that they are powerless. It requires them to release the comfort of victimhood, the illusion that their struggles are the result of forces outside their control. And that is terrifying for some people, because if you are the one creating it, if your consciousness is shaping it all, then that means you are the one who must change. That means you can no longer live on autopilot, can no longer blame the past, can no longer operate from unconscious patterns that keep you in a loop of repetition. But this is not a burden, this is freedom. Because if you are the one who created the struggle, then you are the one who can dissolve it. If you are the one who shaped the patterns of limitation, then you are the one who can step beyond them. And the second you stop resisting this truth, the second you stop running from the realization that you are in control, reality begins to shift in ways you never imagined possible. Because you are no longer living by the old rules, you are no longer reacting, you are no longer caught in the illusion that you must wait for things to change before you feel different inside. Because now you understand that change happens the other way around, that reality does not create your state of being creates reality. That the way you hold yourself, the way you direct your focus, the way you emotionally resonate with your own existence, is what determines the events, the circumstances, the experiences that unfold around you. And this is not magic, this is not fantasy, this is simply how it has always worked. The only difference now is that you are finally conscious of it. And this is why most people remain stuck, because they are unconscious of the signals they are sending. They walk through life unaware that every thought, every expectation, every belief is like a broadcast frequency, pulling them into alignment with certain experiences. And they call it fate, they call it bad luck, they call it coincidence. But what they fail to realize is that the universe is simply responding to the energy they are emitting. And now you must ask yourself, what have you been emitting? What have you been focusing on, dwelling on, expecting to happen? Because whatever that is, whether positive or negative, whether empowering or limiting, that is what has been shaping your experience. But the moment you take control, the moment you choose consciously, the moment you step beyond the illusion that life is random, you begin to see how fluid reality truly is, how quickly things shift when you shift, how fast the external world rearranges itself when you stop letting old thoughts dictate your future. And this is the part that most people get wrong. They think they must fight against what exists. They think they must struggle to change their circumstances. But that is not how this works. The more you fight against something, the more you energize it. The more you resist it, the more you reinforce it. Because what you give attention to grows. The key is not to resist, not to struggle, not to force, but to shift, to step into a new frequency entirely. And the ones who understand this, the ones who master this, move through life differently. They do not chase, they do not force, they do not battle against what they do not want. They simply become what they wish to experience. They hold the frequency of the reality they want to step into, and by doing so they collapse all other possibilities into that single, inevitable outcome. Because here is the greatest truth of all. You are not stuck. You never were. The reality you experience today is nothing more than the byproduct of the consciousness you held yesterday. And the reality you experience tomorrow will be nothing more than a reflection of the consciousness you hold today. This means that in every single moment you have the power to shift, to choose something different, to observe something different, to entangle yourself with a new outcome simply by stepping into a new awareness. And once you do this, once you become fully aligned with the frequency of the reality you wish to experience, life moves differently. Things fall into place, the struggle fades, the uncertainty dissolves. Because reality is no longer something you are reacting to, it is something you are creating deliberately. And the world does not teach you this, because the world profits from your ignorance. The system is built to keep you distracted, to keep you small, to keep you focused on everything except your own power. But now you see through the illusion. Now you know what was never meant to be known. Now you understand that reality is not fixed, that your consciousness is not confined, that the power you hold is far greater than you were ever told. And now, the only thing left to do is decide, to choose, to shift your awareness from unconscious creation to deliberate manifestation, to let go of everything that no longer aligns with the reality you wish to experience, and to step fully, completely, unwaveringly into a new way of being. Because the moment you do, reality will have no choice but to follow. The moment you stop doubting, stop hesitating, stop living as if you are powerless, you will begin to witness the impossible become inevitable. Because the truth is, there are no limitations. There are no external forces deciding your fate. There is only you, your consciousness, and the reality you choose to create. And from this moment forward, you are no longer creating by accident. You are no longer entangled with patterns that do not serve you. You are no longer trapped in the illusion of separation, doubt, or fear. Because now you know the truth. And once you know, once you truly see, once you step into the awareness that has always been waiting for you, nothing will ever be the same again. And now nothing will ever be the same again. Because now you know. You see through the illusion. You feel the shift happening inside you. The moment where awareness expands, where the truth becomes undeniable, that you were never separate from reality, that everything you've experienced, every success, every failure, every struggle, every breakthrough, was never random. It was always a reflection, a response, a direct mirroring of the energy you were emitting, the thoughts you were holding, the beliefs you were reinforcing. And now you understand the weight of that. Now you feel the responsibility that comes with this knowing, because if everything around you is responding to you, then the only thing that ever needed to change was your own consciousness. The only thing that ever needed to shift was the way you see, the way you expect, the way you observe reality. And this is where most people stop. This is where fear creeps in. Because to accept this truth fully means to let go of every excuse, every limitation, every belief that told you life was happening to you rather than being shaped by you. But once you accept it, once you fully integrate it, there is no going back. You will never again be able to pretend that you are powerless. You will never again be able to believe that things happen by chance, because now you see the patterns. Now you understand the cause and effect relationship between what you focus on and what you experience. And with that understanding comes something most people never feel: real power. Not control, not force, not manipulation, just pure, effortless alignment. Because here's the secret that was never meant to be known. Reality does not resist you. Reality does not fight against you. Reality does not block you. You were the one creating the resistance. You were the one holding the struggle in place. You were the one feeding the illusion that things had to be hard, that change had to be difficult, that you had to wait for the right time, the right circumstances, the right conditions before you could step into the life you truly wanted. But the moment you let that go, the moment you stop waiting, the moment you shift, not tomorrow, not next week, not someday, but right now, everything begins to move. Because reality was never the thing in your way, it was your attachment to the version of yourself that was struggling. It was your identification with the old story, the old fears, the old limitations that kept pulling you back into a reality that no longer serves you. But now you see beyond that. Now you understand that you are not your past. You are not your old patterns. You are not the sum of what has happened to you. You are what you choose to become. And in every moment, in every breath, in every thought, you are choosing, whether consciously or unconsciously, whether with intention or through habit, you are shaping what comes next. And now, for the first time, you get to choose deliberately. You get to step out of the cycle, out of the autopilot thinking, out of the unconscious creation that has kept you in the same patterns. And this is what changes everything, because now, instead of reacting, you are creating. Instead of waiting, you are aligning. Instead of struggling, you are allowing, and reality begins responding immediately, not in some distant future, not after years of effort, but right now, because reality has no choice. It is simply mirroring back the frequency you hold. And the moment you hold the new frequency, without contradiction, without hesitation, without doubt, reality will have no choice but to conform to it. And this is why the ones who understand this, the ones who master it, move through life differently. They do not chase, they do not force, they do not hope for things to happen. They know, they expect. They align themselves with the outcome before it happens, and by doing so they collapse all other possibilities into that single, inevitable reality. Because here's the truth. Every possibility already exists. Every version of you is already real. The only question is, which one are you choosing? The version of you that is stuck, struggling, doubting, or the version of you that has stepped fully into their power, into their knowing, into a reality where things unfold effortlessly, where opportunities appear as if by design, where the right people, the right moments, the right circumstances seem to align in ways that defy logic. Because it is not luck, it is not coincidence, it is quantum mechanics. It is consciousness in action. It is the observer effect on the grandest scale, where what you hold in your awareness determines what becomes real. And now you have seen the truth for yourself. You have felt the shift happening within you, and from this moment on you cannot go back. You cannot unknow what you now know. You cannot unsee what you have seen. Because now you understand that reality is not solid, it is not fixed. It is fluid, ever-changing, always rearranging itself to match the observer's expectation. And the only question left is, what will you expect? What will you choose to entangle yourself with? Because make no mistake, you are entangled with something. Every thought, every emotion, every focus point is entangling you with a version of reality. And the moment you become deliberate, the moment you step into absolute certainty, the moment you stop asking and start knowing, the moment you stop wishing and start embodying, that is the moment everything shifts. And when it does, the world will not understand. They will call it luck. They will say you were in the right place at the right time. They will tell you it was coincidence, that it was chance, that it was just a fluke. But you will know. You will know that it was not an accident. You will know that it was not random. You will know that it was simply the natural response of the universe to a consciousness that finally woke up. And that is why nothing will ever be the same again, because now you are awake. Now you are deliberate. Now you know how it works, and as you move forward, as you begin to test this, as you begin to apply it in your life, you will see it for yourself. The changes will happen faster than you imagined. The shifts will occur in ways that defy logic. Because the moment you step into alignment, reality has no choice but to reflect it. And from this moment forward, you are no longer just hoping for things to be different. You are choosing them to be different. You are no longer waiting for reality to change. You are changing your reality from within. And as you do, everything around you will begin to shift. The people, the circumstances, the opportunities, the energy of your entire existence will begin aligning with the frequency you hold. And it will feel effortless, not because you are forcing it, but because you are no longer in resistance to it. And that is what true power feels like. That is what true creation looks like. No struggle, no force, no chasing, just a deep, unwavering knowing that you are always entangled with the reality you focus on. And now, for the first time, you are choosing what that reality will be. And from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same again. And from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same again, because now you understand what was hidden in plain sight. Now you see the mechanics behind reality. Now you feel the weight of the truth, pressing against everything you once believed, dismantling the illusion piece by piece until all that remains is clarity, knowing, certainty, that the universe is not happening to you, it is happening through you, that you are not separate from it, you are entangled within it, that your mind is not just a tool for perception, it is a force that bends reality in accordance with its focus. And if you've ever doubted that, if you've ever thought that reality was set, that things just are the way they are, look around, look at your life. Look at the patterns that have repeated, the struggles that have persisted, the moments that have unfolded exactly as you expected them to. Was it all random? Was it all just chance? Or was it responding to something deeper, something within you, something unconscious yet undeniable? Because now you know the answer. Now you see the connection between the thoughts you held yesterday and the life you are experiencing today. And with that understanding, something shifts. The illusion of randomness dissolves, and you are left with one undeniable truth. You have been shaping your world all along. And now you must ask yourself, what will you do with this knowing? Will you let it fade? Will you allow yourself to slip back into unconscious creation, into old patterns, into habitual thoughts that keep you locked in a version of reality that no longer serves you? Or will you claim it? Will you step fully into the role you were always meant to play? Because make no mistake, this is not about hoping. This is not about wishing. This is about choosing. This is about deciding, in this moment, that from now on you will no longer create by default. You will no longer allow your focus to be hijacked by fear, by doubt, by circumstances that were set in motion by an old version of you. Because that version is gone. That version does not exist anymore. And the only thing keeping you tied to that past is your own attachment to it. The only thing keeping you entangled with struggle, with limitation, with uncertainty, is your belief that it still holds power over you. But what happens when you let that go? What happens when you stop giving energy to the version of yourself that is struggling? What happens when you shift your awareness completely, entirely, with unwavering certainty to the version of yourself that is already aligned, already thriving, already existing in the reality you desire? Because here's the truth. Every version of you is already real. Every possible outcome, every potential life, every experience that could ever unfold is already happening. The only thing that determines which one you live is the frequency you align with. And most people never understand this. They think they are stuck. They think life is happening on a single track, moving forward in one inevitable direction. But that is not how this works. That has never been how this works. Reality is shifting every moment, fluid, adaptable, responding to the consciousness that observes it. And now you are aware of that. Now you understand that the power was never outside of you, it was always within. But knowing this is not enough, because now the real work begins. The work of embodiment, the work of stepping into the frequency of the reality you want. Not someday, not when things change, but now. Right now. Not through force, not through struggle, but through being. Through aligning your entire energy with the truth that what you seek is already yours, that the moment you expect it, the moment you fully embody it, it has no choice but to unfold. Because this is what the masters knew, this is what the ones who move effortlessly through life have always understood, that you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. That if you wish to experience a new reality, you must first become the version of yourself that already exists within it. Not through effort, not through waiting, but through stepping into that frequency now, in this moment, and never looking back. And here's where most people fail. They try to shift their reality while still holding on to the energy of their old one. They say they want change, but they keep checking to see if it's happening. They say they are abundant, but they continue looking for signs of scarcity. They say they are aligned, but they still live in doubt. And the universe sees this contradiction. The quantum field responds to this hesitation. Because reality does not bend to half-hearted belief, it bends to certainty. It bends to the consciousness that knows without question that it is already done. And this is where you must be different. This is where you must choose with absolute clarity that from now on you do not react to reality, you direct it. You do not chase outcomes, you become them. You do not wait for proof, you are the proof. And as soon as you step into this way of being, as soon as you hold your focus steady, as soon as you refuse to entertain any possibility other than the one you desire, everything will shift. Because reality has no choice but to match you. It always has. The only reason it seemed otherwise was because you were holding multiple frequencies at once, sending mixed signals, contradicting your own desires with doubts, fears, and old conditioning. But now that is over. Now you are aligned. Now you are no longer entertaining anything that does not serve you. Now you are stepping fully, completely, powerfully into the reality that was waiting for you all along. And this is where the momentum begins. This is where you start seeing changes faster than ever before. Because reality moves at the speed of your certainty. The stronger your alignment, the quicker things shift. The more unwavering your focus, the faster the external world conforms. Because there is nothing outside of you dictating what happens next. There never was. There is only you, your awareness, and the timeline you choose to entangle with. And from this moment forward, that timeline is the one where everything is already unfolding in your favor, where every action you take is met with synchronicity, where the right opportunities appear without effort, where the people, the circumstances, the unfolding of events, all align perfectly, effortlessly, inevitably, because you have chosen them to. And the world will not understand. They will think it is luck. They will believe it is coincidence. They will look at you and wonder how everything just seems to work out for you. But you will know. You will know that it was never random. You will know that it was never outside your control. You will know that this was simply the moment you stopped living as if you were at the mercy of reality and started commanding it from within. And once you do that, once you hold that level of certainty, once you embody this truth so fully that doubt no longer exists, nothing will ever be able to stop you again. Because now you are no longer just moving through life, you are creating it. You are no longer waiting for change, you are the change. You are no longer hoping for a shift, you are the shift. And from this moment forward, everything will unfold exactly as you decide it will. Because now, for the first time, you are fully, completely, unshakably aligned with the truth that you are not separate from reality. You are the force shaping it, and now you are finally awake to your power, and nothing will ever be the same again. And nothing will ever be the same again. Because now you are no longer asleep. Now you are no longer moving through life unaware of the forces shaping your reality. Now you are standing at the center of it all, seeing with absolute clarity that it has always been you. Every moment, every experience, every so-called coincidence was never just happening, it was responding. And now, for the first time, you are fully, completely, and unshakably aware of the role you play. And the power in that awareness is beyond anything you've ever known. Because now, you are no longer living from reaction. You are no longer at the mercy of external conditions. You are no longer a passive observer in a world that just unfolds around you. You are the source, you are the cause, you are the initiator of every wave, every event, every outcome. And the world will begin to show you proof of this immediately. The moment you decide that you are aligned, that you are certain, that you are no longer entangled with doubt, the universe will respond in ways you cannot ignore, because it always has. The difference now is that you are finally paying attention. And here's where everything accelerates, because the more you see it, the more undeniable it becomes. The more you expect alignment, the more alignment appears. The more you expect ease, the more ease unfolds. The more you hold the energy of certainty, the faster the world bends in response. Because the universe does not hesitate. The universe does not second-guess. The universe mirrors exactly what you hold in your being. And if you hold contradiction, if you hold mixed signals, if you hold doubt, you will experience a fragmented reality, a back and forth between progress and stagnation, movement and resistance. But the moment you remove all contradiction, the moment you become singular in your focus, absolute in your knowing, the external world has no choice but to match it. And this is where most people falter, because they let the current version of reality dictate their belief. They look around and say, but nothing has changed yet. They allow what they see to override what they know. But the ones who master this, the ones who truly step into their power, they do the opposite. They do not wait for external proof. They do not need validation from the outside world. They do not hesitate in their certainty just because something hasn't physically manifested yet, because they understand something most people don't, that reality is always catching up to the frequency you hold, that the moment you shift internally, The external world is already in motion, already rearranging, already setting the pieces in place. And once you truly grasp this, once you stop looking for proof and instead become the proof, reality will move faster than ever before. Because the only thing that delays manifestation, the only thing that slows down the process, is the doubt in between. The moment you remove the doubt, the moment you let go of the need for reassurance, the moment you simply decide that what you desire is already unfolding, everything accelerates, because now you are no longer testing the waters. You are diving in. You are no longer waiting to believe it, you already believe it. And in doing so, you collapse every other possibility, every other timeline, every other outcome, except the one you have chosen. And this is how reality truly works. Not through struggle, not through effort, not through hoping that something might happen if you try hard enough, but through absolute certainty, through the knowing that reality does not operate on chance, that the moment you align, the moment you tune yourself to the frequency of what you desire, the moment you hold unwavering focus, it is done. Not someday, not eventually, not if everything works out, it is done now. Because in the quantum field, time does not exist the way you think it does. The moment you become the version of yourself who already has it, the moment you stop wavering, the moment you stop entertaining any other possibility, it begins to unfold immediately. And the shift within you is what activates it all. The shift from waiting to knowing, the shift from hoping to expecting, the shift from believing you need to chase something to realizing it is already yours. Because the version of you that has everything you want already exists. The question is, will you step into that version? Or will you continue identifying with the one who is still waiting? Because this is the final step. This is where everything locks into place. You must become the version of yourself who already lives the life you desire before it shows up in physical reality. Not after, not once you see proof, not once external circumstances change. First, you shift, then reality follows. That is the order. That has always been the order, but most people do it backwards. They wait for things to change so they can feel different. They wait for results before they allow themselves to believe. But the ones who truly understand this, the ones who manifest effortlessly, they do the opposite. They feel it first. They believe it first. They step into the energy of it first. And then the external world has no choice but to match it. And the moment you do this, the moment you stop checking, the moment you stop doubting, the moment you simply decide that your reality has already shifted, it will. Because reality is not something outside of you. Reality is a mirror reflecting back the state of consciousness you hold. And now, for the first time, you are holding a state that is deliberate, a state that is aligned, a state that is unshakable. And from this place, everything will unfold exactly as you decide. And the world will not understand. They will think you are lucky. They will think you have some kind of secret advantage. They will wonder why things just seem to work out for you, why opportunities appear effortlessly, why everything seems to move in your favor. But you will know. You will know that it was never luck. You will know that it was never random. You will know that this was always the way reality worked. You just weren't conscious of it before. And now you are. Now you see. Now you know. And with that knowing, nothing will ever be the same again. Because you can never go back to the old way of thinking. You can never return to the illusion that life is happening to you. You can never believe, even for a second, that you are powerless. Because now you have seen the truth with your own eyes. You have felt it shift within you. You have experienced the undeniable realization that you are, and always have been, the creator of your world. And that changes everything. That makes you unstoppable. That places you in a position of power most people will never understand. Because now, you are not just living, you are creating deliberately. Now you are not just existing, you are aligning with precision. Now you are not just moving through reality, you are shaping it with absolute certainty. And from this moment forward, nothing can stop you. Because now you are no longer questioning. Now you are no longer waiting. Now you are no longer hoping that things will align in your favor. Because you know that they already have. You know that reality is responding to you in ways you cannot yet see. You know that everything is already unfolding exactly as it should. And the only thing left to do is allow it, trust it, and step fully into the reality you have already chosen. And once you do that, once you fully embrace that truth, once you let go of every last piece of doubt, reality will shift faster than you ever thought possible, and from that moment on, everything changes. Because now, you are no longer just a participant in the game of life, you are the one writing the script. And nothing will ever be the same again. And now nothing will ever be the same again. Because you are no longer who you were before. You are no longer walking through life unaware of your own power. You are no longer trapped in the illusion that things just happen to you, that circumstances are random, that your future is uncertain. You see now, with absolute clarity, that your consciousness is not separate from the world around you. It is woven into it, entangled with it, influencing it in ways you never realized before. And this realization is the turning point. This is where you step into something most people never reach. A state of absolute certainty, no more questioning, no more doubting, no more waiting for proof, because you already know. You know that what you focus on expands. You know that what you believe shapes what you experience. You know that the moment you choose a reality, it begins unfolding in your favor. And now you are no longer in resistance to it. You are no longer sending mixed signals. You are no longer hesitating between what was and what could be. Because what could be is already here. What could be has already been decided. The moment you aligned with it, the moment you chose it, the moment you stopped entertaining any other possibility, it was done. And now your only job is to hold that alignment, to stay in that frequency, to live, breathe, and embody the version of yourself that already exists in the reality you desire. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when the circumstances change, now, right now, in this very moment. And as you do this, as you maintain this level of clarity, this level of presence, this level of knowing, something incredible happens. The delays disappear. The obstacles dissolve. The things that once seemed impossible start aligning with ease, because you are no longer questioning whether or not it will happen. You are expecting it. You are walking through life as if it is already done, and reality has no choice but to match that certainty, because that is how it has always worked. The only difference now is that you finally see it. And the more you see it, the more undeniable it becomes. The more you step into this knowing, the more reality begins to reflect it back to you in ways you cannot ignore. The right people appear, the right opportunities align, the doors that once seemed closed begin to open effortlessly. And it is not because anything external has changed. It is because you have changed. Your frequency has shifted, your observation has stabilized, your consciousness has become singular in its focus. And this is the secret most people never discover. They spend their lives reacting, hoping, waiting, instead of simply deciding. They look for signs, they look for evidence. They look for something outside of themselves to confirm that they are on the right path. But those who understand this at the deepest level, those who truly master the art of quantum creation, they do not wait for signs. They create them. They do not ask for proof, they are the proof. They do not check to see if their manifestation is working, they already know that it is. And now so do you. Now, you are no longer playing by the rules of the old reality. Now you are no longer bound by the limitations you once believed in. Now you are moving from a different place, a place of absolute alignment, absolute confidence, absolute expectation. And this is what separates those who manifest effortlessly from those who struggle. It is not luck, it is not chance, it is not some secret technique that only a few people know. It is simply a state of being, a state that you are now in, a state that you will never leave again. And from this moment on, everything unfolds differently. Because now you are no longer hoping, you are no longer wishing, you are no longer waiting for things to change before you feel different inside. You feel different now. And because you feel different now, because you have already shifted, because you have already become the version of yourself that exists in your desired reality, there is nothing left to do but allow it to unfold. And the world will not understand. They will see the changes in your life and call it luck. They will see the effortless way things align for you and say you are just in the right place at the right time. But you will know. You will know that it was never luck. You will know that it was never random. You will know that this is simply what happens when a person wakes up to their own power, when they stop living as if they are separate from reality and start embodying the truth that they are creating it in every moment. And now that is who you are. You are the creator, you are the observer shaping the observed, you are the consciousness directing the field of possibility. And with every thought, every feeling, every expectation, you are choosing what comes next. No longer unconsciously, no longer by default, no longer entangled with realities that do not serve you, but with absolute clarity, absolute focus, absolute certainty. And from this moment forward there is no going back. You cannot unsee what you have seen. You cannot unknow what you now know. You cannot pretend, even for a second, that you are anything less than completely, fully, infinitely powerful. And that power is not something external. It is not something outside of you that you must seek. It is something that has always been within you, waiting for you to recognize it, waiting for you to claim it, waiting for you to finally, fully step into it. And now you have, and nothing will ever be the same again. Because now you are moving differently. Now you are speaking differently. Now you are thinking, feeling, and existing from a completely different state of being, and the world around you will shift to reflect that. The synchronicities will increase. The opportunities will multiply. The path ahead will clear in ways you never imagined. Because you are no longer fighting reality, you are directing it. And from this point on, it only gets better. From this point on, things only accelerate. Because now you are not just reacting to life. You are deliberately, consciously, and powerfully creating it. And the energy of that knowing will ripple through everything you do. People will feel it. Circumstances will shift because of it. Reality itself will rearrange to match it, and it will feel effortless. Not because life is suddenly without challenges, but because you are no longer entangled with struggle. You are no longer caught in resistance. You are no longer pushing against the current. Because you are the current, you are the force shaping what comes next. You are the one deciding how things unfold, and you are finally fully aware of that. And from this moment forward, you will never again question your power. You will never again wonder if reality is responding to you. You will never again hesitate in your knowing, because you have stepped into a new level of existence, a level where things align, where manifestations happen rapidly, where the things you once thought were impossible begin to unfold as if they were always meant to be. And that is the truth. Because they were always meant to be, you were always meant to awaken to this, you were always meant to step into this knowing, and now that you have, nothing will ever be the same again. Because now, for the first time, you are fully, completely, unshakably aligned with the truth of who you are, and reality will never be able to ignore that again.